And welcome to Jules's Cookery channel. Now today I am going to demonstrate how to make a really good sandwich. You might be thinking, well, sandwiches are the easiest thing in the world to make, and yes, maybe, but there's a little bit more to it than perhaps we think. And when you think of the cost of sandwiches, buying them in the supermarkets, they are very expensive, so it's worth knowing how to make a good sandwich at home that you can then pack up and take off to work with you, or send your children off with, or your husband off with, or whatever the circumstances are. So today I'm going to be making a tuna and avocado sandwich with a fair amount of salad ingredients thrown in, and let's get started anyway. So I'm going to butter the bread, and I always think it's really important to get the butter right out to the edges of the bread, because it's nice just to have it spread all the way around rather than just in the middle, like, you know, some sandwiches, the expensive ones that you buy in the shops, you often find that the butter's not really spread very generously. So there we are, we have our buttered bread, and now I'm going to open the tuna, which you might be thinking, well, do we really need to know how to do that? Probably not. However, it's quite useful to know. Something I always often find is that people don't drain the tuna off properly, and you end up with a soggy sandwich. Or if you mix when you mix the mayonnaise in with it, it can kind of go watery, and you get this kind of watery thing happening coming out the side of the sandwich. Very nice, makes it soggy and quite unpleasant, really. So I just put it through a sieve like this, and give it a good old squish down with your spoon to get most of the liquid. Now you might think that's sort of adequate enough, but in fact I think you'll find it's still quite wet. So what I do is take a bit of kitchen roll and pop that into a container. Any container will do, preferably not the dog bowl, which I've got here, but I won't tell anybody about that. And pop your tuna into the container that's now lined with a bit of kitchen roll, because that will soak up any excess water. Hence, you won't end up with a soggy sandwich. Well, while that is happening, it won't take long, I'm going to now prepare some of the salad ingredients that I'm going to put into this magnificent sandwich. And I'm going to start with a piece of celery. Now, I'm just going to cut the ends off, like so. We don't want those grotty bits. And put it into my chuck-it bucket. Every kitchen needs a chuck-it bucket. And then I'm going to just peel that slightly from the outside, because, as you probably know, celery can be quite stringy, and it does actually make a difference just taking out those few outside stringy bits, like so. Okay. Next I'm going to chop the celery into little pieces. So, obviously, it's not going to need that much. However, I'll probably use the rest of it in a salad or something later on. That's that done. And then tomato with a nice serrated knife. Lots of different ways to chop a tomato, but I'd like to do it this way. Just chop it in half, tweak out the little, what I call toenail, and put it in the chuck-it bucket, and then turn it up over on its tummy, and slice nice thin slices with a good serrated knife. Try not to take your fingers off in the meantime. It's okay, and that can go into another container. You don't really need all these containers. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. You'd probably put it straight onto the sandwich, but because I'm just waiting for this tuna to dry up a little bit, I'm just trying to get prepared ahead of myself. Okay, so the other ingredient we're going to put in this yummy sandwich is an avocado. Now I know a lot of people really do find it difficult to test when the avocado is actually ripe to use. You just need to give it a little squeeze, and if it sort of gives way, if you like, it feels soft on the outside, that's a pretty good indication that it's just exactly right and ready to eat. So there we are, that's come out beautifully, stone in there. I usually just score the avocado like this with my knife and get a spoon. So all I've done is just done stripes down the avocado, just cutting into the flesh like that. Get a spoon and just scoop it out. Love avocado. It's one of the best ingredients, I think. Amazing how much you can use it in, especially sandwiches. Really, really nice in sandwiches. It's something people don't often think about using in a sandwich. But when I used to run a sandwich bar, or one of my many sandwich bars, I used to use avocado with lots of things, and it was a top seller, always. Chicken, bacon and avocado is probably the favourite. Right, so here we are ready for action. Got my ingredients ready. I'm just going to literally tip that out now, and that, you will see, is really quite damp. Looks a bit like a nappy actually, but we won't try and put people off. So there we are, that's done. That can go there. Now I'm going to mix the tuna with my favourite mayonnaise, but unfortunately you do have to go all the way to France to get this one. So it's a good excuse actually to make that trip. However, any old mayonnaise, the ones that don't taste like vomit, you can get in most of your local supermarkets, and Helms is a good one to use. So give it a good old mix, and we will just be generous with your fillings. You might think, gosh, how are you going to keep all that filling into a sandwich? You know, it's surprising what you can get in there. Let's use that butter knife. Pile it in. And we've got enough tuna, that's 1 tin of tuna, there's probably enough there for, actually I would say probably 2 generous sandwiches. 3 if you're going to spare on the tuna a bit. Right, spread that in, again right up to the edges, and then that actually encourages people to eat their crusts. So there we are, and I'm now going to put the avocado, we'll use a whole half of avocado, why not? Let's be generous. Onto there, spread it around. Take it up to the edges again. Nothing worse than a sandwich when you've got, so all you end up with is a pile of crust with nothing, sort of, you know, no ingredients on them. There we go. Now I'm going to put some pepper, the old fresh pepper, nothing like it is there, and a little bit of salt. For those of you who don't agree with salt, look away now. And then I'm going to put the tomato on next. In fact, I'm going to put some of the, what's this stuff called? Oh yes, celery. On next, because that will give it a lovely crunch. But obviously you don't have to use celery if you don't like it. Some people can't stand celery, so it's entirely up to you. And it's just a matter of taste really, isn't it? Put tomatoes in, get the whole thing nicely filled up, like so. And I'm going to put a little bit more mayonnaise on top of that. Don't count the calories. And then on top of that, just a handful of lettuce. Now lettuce always looks like it's going to fall off. It usually does. However, I'm going to show you a little tip how to save your lettuce. Oops. Put your lid on top. Now, you might think, well, that's going to be a right mess to eat. But watch closely. Get your knife and just push all your bits that are hanging out, excuse the phrase, back into the sandwich with the knife. And you see you've got a nice, all tucked in there, beautifully. Done like that. And then with a nice big knife, it's going to actually, you know, be up to the job of cutting the sandwich. And we go across the middle like so. Okay, and now the next bit, and this is a useful tip, please observe, because I think this is something that everybody should know, how to use cling film, because it's actually most people's nightmare. The number of people you hear saying, I cannot stand using cling film, it just gets all twisted round and stuck together. If, however, let's move that to one side, you keep the cling film in the box, pull it out, hold on to the end, you be the boss with this one, don't cut it off the box. and turn your sandwich inside out, over like that. Pick it up, keep your fingers at the bottom so all the filling doesn't fall out. Pop it onto the cling film. There we are, it's landed safely. And then pull the cling film over from the back, no, from the front to the back. Just turn it over once. Give it a click down, pull it up and over, and there you have a sandwich worthy of being sold in a shop for far less money than you pay for it. Thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time I do next week's workshop demonstration. Bye!